Woo! Got two more.
You got two more. Go.
Now just make the swim. Don't worry about the pause. Control. Stop.
My name's Steve Kuclo, IFBB Pro since 2011. Been training for 16 years coming up. Just placed top 6 in Mr. Olympia, and I think one of those guys that I like to. I think knowledge is power, and when it comes to bodybuilding, I think the more you know, the better it is. I think even from a new somebody just getting in the gym for the first couple months compared, or even to somebody that is a young bodybuilder or a new pro, I think learning biomechanics is key to taking your physique to the next level. There's always that beginner progress that you get in the gym. Just getting in the gym, moving weight, your body's going to respond, it's going to grow. But eventually you hit that plateau that your body's like, okay, I'm at that happy stage where I'm like, you're really gonna have to trick me and do some stuff that really makes, you're gonna have to target things to make them grow. And we, like when you talk about periodization and different rep ranges and tempos that apply, it's doing those things that make your body go, okay, wait a second, I have to adapt to this, which means growth for hypertrophy in our industry to want to really grow. And not only does training biomechanically correct translate to a healthier body, you're going to be safer through training, you're going to be less injury prone. All those things translate into a longer career on stage. So that's your ultimate goal, to get on stage and be a pro bodybuilder. You're going to have to think it's to get to the level we're at. It's not something that is only a couple years in the gym. I mean, I've been doing this close to 16 years. And I'm just starting to hit my prime now. I'm in 34, and the guys I'm competing against are probably between 35 and 45, and they're at their peaks. So I've been able to do it this long and be relatively injury free, and now applying my training, getting smarter with it through the stuff that you guys put out. It makes training a lot more. It makes more sense, in other words.
Okay. Now is that better, having the stability there,
Yeah,
right?
that way you're kind of less focused on stabilizing here.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
gonna my mind's going to go right to chest.
Right, okay. And this...
I think the mentality of a bodybuilder or anybody that competes, that wants to, any athlete, competitive athlete, it's like, I got to go more, I got to go more, I got to go more. And I think applying some of the principles of not going to those extremes, but doing it smarter, not harder, like we just said. I think this year applying some of those principles to me, you have that little bit of fear, because you're like, I've been doing this way for so long. Now, if I try going this way, is it going to change things for the worse? Or there's like that fear factor. So for me, I felt like my sleep was better this year. I felt like just overall sense of well-being, and not feeling like I'm carrying like a piano on my back, and just feeling like you're walking death, so to speak. I mean, yes, there's time being so calorie deficient and body fat low, you're going to feel bad. Like there's that suffering part of it. But I agree that, training smarter does not have to translate to you being like walking around like Walking Dead, but you feel like you're crippled and feel like your body's so stressed, your nervous system taxed to such an extreme level that it's almost going backwards in progress.
And then pull. There you go. Do it hard. Pause. Out hard, and then pull. Pause.
Bad.
Okay.
Good.
I think for my whole career is you're kind of stuck in that old school bodybuilding mentality of training, and just seeing the way guys have done it since the 70s, and the Dorian stuff and the Ronnie, seeing that training style and just kind of applying it yourself. But I know that each body in particular is different, and you need to apply what works for you. And I like to, over the last few years, I think as I've gotten older and knowing I can't lift as crazy and have longevity in the sport, so how am I going to put that mind-muscle connection together, and how am I going to focus on what works for me? And that's when training with Alan a few times when he came to Dallas, and applying stuff when he's told Max, and Max Fairchild, my training partner. You know, we've applied a lot of the certain movements that we've done, say for back in particular, because that's one body part that I've really wanted to improve. And taking the traditional lat pull down out of it and doing the pull downs with the prime handles, with the incline bench, making a huge difference. Actually feel like you're working a lat. You're not just pulling with your delt and bicep, because I'm a more dominant bicep delt puller and even pusher. I'm more delt. So it's been a learning process. How do I take this and this out of pulling and getting my lats to actually fire and actually feel like I'm working my lat and seeing it improve through the final process of photos you see on stage. You know, you could see stuff a little bit improve in your off season, a little bit fluffy, but when you're on stage, that's final, you know, your final result of all the hard work, and you could kind of see, oh, okay, my lats actually came out more now. I think one of the poses I always felt like I was a little bit shallow in would be a front double bicep, and I felt like I just wasn't able to kind of bring my lats out all the way around, or in where you can see them in the front enough. And this year I was really able to notice that front lat, or the front double bicep pose, have more lat. My front lat spread just to fill out more. There's really less gaps in there, and then rear double bicep was a really impressive pose on stage this year compared to other guys. And I could see in a comparison shot, when you got 6 of the top bodybuilders in the world, that my back's, you know, right up there with them, and it could be, you know, it's in the mix. Is to show that putting those pieces together, it worked.